Hi, this is Karthik. Super happy to see you inside the Performance Edge podcast. Welcome here. And I want to share a very important topic through this podcast today. The topic being, how do you have that never ending drive in spite of having a lot of challenges that you might be facing in your life or in one or more areas of your life? When that's the case, how is it possible that someone can have that never ending drive on a daily basis? That's the thing. So let's get started. And I was actually journaling about that some time back. And I have some points that I have noted down that I just want to share with you here today. All right. So if you're listening to this through Spotify or some of the podcasts, uh, please do subscribe to this channel, to this podcast, and stay connected with me on this. And if you're watching this as a video, either on YouTube podcast or somewhere else, again, do subscribe and stay in touch with me. All right. So with that note, let's start off with the first point. The first point that when I was journaling, that I got to understand was there might be challenges that we might be facing in a very specific area of our life, right? So how do you deal with that? How do you create that inner drive irrespective of any situation? So the first thing that came to my mind as I was journaling was, can you actually start developing a liking towards the challenges that you're facing? As I'm saying this to you, don't judge me immediately now. Don't start hating on me now just because I said that. You might be thinking, okay, Karthik, it's easy for you to just say that into a mic, just create a podcast and share, but that's not how practically things work. Well, let me tell you what I did before I am sharing this with you. I know it's a big statement to say that irrespective of whatever it is, can you start liking your challenges? That's a big statement, right? So what I did was, and I would love for you to do this here, just break down your whole life into 5 year time periods. Let's say starting with 10 years onwards, or if you're someone who remembers a lot of things when you are 5 to 10 years, that's great. But just break it down your whole life into 5 year chunks. Okay. So let's say starting with 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30, and so on and so forth. Okay. Till your current age. Then just think about it, just reflect for a moment and write it down, journal about it. Between 10 to 15 years, what was your top challenge? What is your top one or two or three challenges that you faced during that time period? Just make a journal entry on that. Okay. And then do the same for 15 to 20 years. What was your big challenge? For example, when I was 10 to 15 years, um, my big challenge was I had to change my school during that time. And I had to really get adapted to the new school where I had to do my 8th, ninth, 10th during this time frame. And the challenge was about getting bullied. I was getting bullied on a lot of times. So that is the big challenge that I was facing. And then I also had some health issues that I had to face and deal with during that time frame. What was it for you when you're 10 to 15? Okay. And then transition to 10, 15 to 20. Uh, 15 to 20, what was your top challenge? You're probably in your college days and getting to complete your degree and all of those things. So what was your big challenge? So for me, it was one, the degree itself, the vastness of the subject, and getting to do all of those things and stuff like that, right? And for a lot of my clients whom I work with during this time is when they had some relationship challenge. There was a time where the hormonal change happens in the body, and a lot of people deal with relationship related challenges. So what was it for you? So please be aware of that part. Okay. So the next one is about the next 5 years, 20 to 25. What were your big challenges? So for me, it was I had to leave my house, go get a job, lost my job, then I was staying with my family, and I had to again readjust a lot of my life, my routine, my rituals, the way I thought about and all of those things to the work culture. And again, as I said, I lost my very first job itself, so there was again the bigger challenge that I was facing that time. So when you do this in a 5-year time frame throughout your life that you have experienced so far, you will have a big realization, just like how I did, how I had. The big realization I hope you will have is that you will realize that there was one or the other challenges that you had to face in any given point in time in your life. So even now, you might be facing some specific challenge. It can be health related, it can be career related, money related, relationship, one or more of these things, right? You might be facing that. But I want you to bring this to your awareness that, hey, you know what? There has always been one or more challenges that you have already faced and gone past it in the past. So when you know this, that yeah, inevitably there's going to be something or the other that's going to pop up. um, I'm not trying to say it in a way, probably if you're a law of attraction practitioner, you would be like, hey Karthik, no, don't do that. Don't try to attract that thing. Don't make me attract those challenges. Well, the thing is, specifically when you're in a momentum of growth, when you're trying to find new things, figure new things out, and get to the next level, you're inevitably going to chase or kind of face one or more of the challenges. That's going to happen because you're going to try to break beyond that comfort zone and get to the next level. And that's a challenge, right? So if you're growing, especially, you are inevitably going to face one or the other challenge. So my um, my honest challenge, or in a very compassionate way, I'm just trying to ask you this question: that are you ready to embrace the challenge that you are facing, knowing very well that you had a lot of challenges in the past and you have come this far? Therefore, you can deal with it and you can go forward from whatever situation that you are in currently. So that's the first thing. All right. Can you develop a liking towards the challenges that you're currently facing? So I hope this is making sense to you. And this is not coming from random research that I just did on internet, or a random blog post that I read about, or some book that I read, but this is coming through my own life experience. So uh, when I'm saying this, I truly mean what I'm saying this to you here. Yeah, please go ahead and see if you can do this journaling and start developing that liking towards the challenge. That's the first one. The second point was, understanding your passion and purpose. If you truly want to have that drive, that never ending motivation internally, that if you want to feel that on a day to day basis, the big thing that's going to help you is if you know what you're passionate about, if you know that there is a purpose behind whatever you're doing currently, right? So let me share this thing with you. Okay. So the reason why I'm sharing this is, again, purpose and passion, they're kind of overloaded sometimes, but I just wanted to share why I thought about this and why I felt this is important, that we have some understanding around it. So I've been a Rafael Nadal fan, the tennis star, throughout my life. I followed him through his childhood, not like childhood basically, but through his teenage, where he won his first Roland Garros title, and then he adjusted his game to become a all court kind of a player. And if you've passionately followed someone, you will very clearly know what drives them, right? What's the driving force that's internally in a specific person, specific individual? And because of their personality and all that. And if you're a Rafael Nadal fan like me, you will very clearly know this. You will very clearly know this, that after seeing him win multiple Grand Slams, getting past Roger Federer's Grand Slam tally, and doing so many awesome things, being a philanthropist. He has his own Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain. He runs his own academy, I think, in a very small version in Anantapur, Andhra Pradesh, India. So if you look at his underlying philosophy, he would always tell you that um, it's not just about the love for the sport, but it's about the, his long term philosophy is he loves competition. It's not just about, love for tennis. That's there. But if you try to understand why is he loving tennis so much, so you will understand that deep down, he loves being competitive. He loves to prepare and perform at his peak, and find that edge that he has that can help him to be a little bit more competitive than the rest. And you know that he puts himself through so much of stress and strain, that he has gone through so many injuries in his career thus far, right? So uh, well, that's a different point, but I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to mean here. So I want you to just contemplate on what's that underlying philosophy, and how is this underlying philosophy finding expression in your day-to-day living. For Nadal, the underlying philosophy is competition. He loves competition, and the way he's expressing it is through tennis. Just hold that thought for a while, because here's the next level to this. He also plays golf these days. If he only loves one sport, he would be only doing that, right? He would only be playing uh, tennis. But because it's not just about tennis, it's about the underlying philosophy, which is about, hey, I love competition. Therefore, let me find expression by playing golf, and let me express my competitive spirit through that. And when you know that underlying philosophy, you can get good at anything, and you can have that never ending drive in your life, in your relationship, in your career, whatever you choose to. Because it's not just the act itself, but because the act of doing something is a expression of that underlying philosophy. I don't know if I made this too heavy for you, especially if you're listening this as a podcast, but I hope this is making sense to you. So find that philosophy and see how can you express that. Way of doing thing is just an expression of that philosophy. Okay, so that's the thing. And just in the similar context, if you look at Djokovic and his career, it's about he loves to beat all the records that everyone else has set in the sport, right? So uh, probably if he picks up some other sport or some other thing like business or something, probably he'd love to break any record that was set and go beyond that, because that's that driving philosophy that's finding expression through tennis, through winning titles and all that. And for me personally, it's about breaking beyond the boundaries, breaking beyond the boundaries that I'm setting on myself, or people who set on me, saying you can only do this, you can only do that. And I'm trying to express myself through a lot of things that I do, to find meaning to this philosophy, that how can I break beyond the boundary, and also how can I help someone else break beyond their boundaries. That's why I also coach, and also train, and also help people to find their next version, find the next best version. Yeah. So I hope this is helping you to understand that a never ending inner drive. How can you keep that going irrespective of the challenges that you might be facing? So that's the second one. And then I thought I'll finish there, but just one more thought came across when I was doing this. So the first two things, it's more about you. Okay, it's more about your life, your experience, and your inner passion and drive and all that. So there is the next level to this, where this can also create a never ending drive in spite of a lot of challenges that you might be facing currently. So that I realized was, when you start looking beyond just yourself, looking at beyond just your goals, beyond just your aspirations, and being involved in something that's outside of you. It can be someone else's mission, it can be some other cause, some other charity, some other big audacious dream that someone has, which might take 100 years, but you want to cut short that and do it in within the next 20 years by being involved and by contributing to that. That can be a very, very powerful driver. But the spark can only happen when you have that congruence with that mission, or with what that leader has to, is envisioning, and the mission that's there in that. Okay, that can be a very, very powerful driver for you, and it can create that never ending motivation. And when that happens, you can actually use that energy to sort out things in your own life. So if you're yet to find that kind of a mission, be part of those communities, be part of those groups which has that kind of an energy where they're looking at constantly improving themselves and getting to the next level. And if you're someone who's a working husband just like me, who's trying to understand how do you get to the next level of productivity, performance, influence, and also build harmonious family, also work on your dream career, I'll leave a link below through which you can be part of my live masterclass. I call it the Productive Husbands Masterclass at this point in time. Check that out and see for yourself if you are ready to implement those step by step process that can help you give very good level of clarity. First of all, help you build some very important habits that are correlated to long term success, and also help you create that daily self care routines for yourself before you go out and start helping others. Yeah, so I'll leave those link, and let me know what you felt about this podcast. And if you're going to try one or more of these drivers to find that never ending inner drive and passion on a day to day basis. Yeah, I hope this helped. Do let me know through the comments if there's an opportunity to leave a comment. And I really look forward to reading your comments and engaging with all your thoughts as well. Thank you so much. This is Karthik signing off. I'll catch you soon in the next one. Take care.